Just 3 weeks ago, I posted my most viewed YouTube video to date, where I looked into the history of Formula 2 and the stars that have come from it. And if you do want to give that video a watch, please click the link somewhere above my head. But the view count wasn't the thing that caught my eye. Catherine 4005 left a comment saying that she's new to Formula 1 and wanted to learn more about the history of women in Formula 1 itself and in motorsport. She also said that my lighting was amazing and liked my video, so thank you for that. At the end of my intros and at the end of my videos, I always say to leave a comment on videos you would like to see me make, so I felt like it was only right to stick to that promise. And with the third season of the Formula 1 Academy coming to a close just last weekend, it only felt right to do that video now. So today we're going to be looking at the history of women in Formula 1 and dabbling in a little bit of motorsport as well. But before I get going, if you do like my channel and want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and leave this video a like, and if you have any recommendations for videos I should make in the future, please leave a comment. Now, let's get underway. Alright, let's start at the beginning. If you look through the history of Formula 1, there is one thing for certain, and that's that men dominate the history books. So, when women appeared on the scene, they weren't just drivers, they were disruptors, pioneers, and boundary testers. And with that being said, it only feels right to start with one woman who broke the mould for women in Formula 1, that being Lella Lombardi. In 1975, the Italian finished 6th at the Spanish Grand Prix, meaning to date she is the only Formula 1 driver that is a female to score a Formula 1 point. I mean, it was only half a point due to disruptions throughout the race, but honestly, who cares? A point is a point. And in a field of men who are pretty vocal about not wanting women on the Formula 1 grid, Lella worked her way to the top through determination and pace, and she competed in a further 16 Grand Prix as well as this one where she earned her first ever point. Before Lella, we had another Italian who paved the way for women in Formula 1, that being Maria Teresa de Filippis. Nicknamed Pilotino or Little Pilot, she received the name after being one, incredibly short, but also incredibly talented behind a wheel. And before making the venture into Formula 1, she had 10 years of prior racing experience, not just against nobodies in the local area, against the likes of Juan Manuel Fangio and Alberto Ascari. After participating in endurance events and hill climb races, she felt like in 1958 it was her time to shine in the world of Formula 1. But she didn't race for a team and entered the competition as a private entrant. She bought her own Maserati 250F to compete in the 1958 Formula 1 campaign. That year she entered 5 Grand Prix, but unfortunately only managed to finish one race, where she finished 10th in Belgium. Her debut was around the streets of Monaco, so she truly was thrown in at the deep end. Unfortunately, she didn't manage to qualify for this race, and her unfortunate luck continued. She had an accident in Portugal, and she also suffered an engine failure around Monza, and in France she was prevented from racing altogether. Despite all these problems, her appearance in Formula 1 was a groundbreaking moment in the sport. Nobody really wanted her there, but she fought her way through regardless. To this day, only 5 female drivers have attempted to qualify for a Formula 1 race. We've already spoken about 2 of them, so who are the other 3? Quickly, I want to speak about Giovanna Amati, whose career was a totally different kettle of fish, and probably a video that I should make totally separate. So, who are the other 2? Firstly, we have Davina Galisa, who was an Olympic skier turned racing driver. And secondly, we had Desiree Wilson. Unfortunately for Davina, her driving career wouldn't be as successful for her Olympic skiing career, as she captained her nation to 4 Winter Olympics. Unfortunately, in Formula 1, she entered 3 Grand Prix, but failed to qualify for all of them. But for Wilson, we saw more success, as she became the only female driver to ever win a Formula 1 sanctioned event at Brands Hatch in 1980. Despite this win only being in the short-lived British Aurora Formula 1 Championship, it meant that her name would live long in the history books of women in motorsport. These 5 women weren't given the best machinery, nor were they given many big sponsorships, but they were given one thing, and that was 1,000 reasons to not show up. But they did anyway. They laid the groundwork, and this groundwork mattered because without the visibility, there would be no path in Formula 1 for the next generation of female drivers. Now, let's talk about the women who made and are still making huge waves off the track. Because, let's be real, Formula One isn't just about the drivers, it's about the whole circus that makes a team work. And I have three women here who have been pivotal for the modern development of females in Formula One. First up, we have Claire Williams, Deputy Team Principal for Williams Racing between 2013 and 2020. Claire walked into one of the hardest jobs in the Formula One paddock, a team steeped in history, created by her father and desperately trying to claw back their competitive history. And, if we're being honest, being a Formula One team principal is probably one of the hardest and most unforgiving jobs on the planet. Claire proved that a woman can lead a team at the very top, under pressure that most of us probably would have crumbled under. Then we have Susie Wolff, the first woman to take part in a Formula One race weekend in 20 years. Susie's influence on racing goes far beyond an FP1 session in a Williams F1 car. Her main influence has been off the track. Her off-track excellence started in Formula E, where she helped Venturi Racing to have some of their most successful seasons. And now, she is the CEO of F1 Academy, the main series promoting Formula One women for the future of the sport. Ultimately, you could argue that Susie alone has the future of female racers in the palms of her hands. And being able to say that she is a team boss, professional racer, and program leader is one hell of a power combo. Some people may just know Susie as Toto Wolff's wife, but in my eyes, she goes far beyond that and has created a legacy that many could never forge. And of course, we need to speak about Monisha Kaltenborn, the first ever female Formula One team principal. She led Team Sauber through some incredibly turbulent years, both financially, politically, and competitively. She ran the team with legal and operational sharpness, when many other smaller teams simply just vanish. This has allowed for Sauber to stay alive until today, when they have got Audi coming in to take them over from 2026. These three women may not have broken records on the track, but their influence off it is undeniable, and have sparked careers for young females all across the sport. From those who are at the very top, to those who are making subtle changes to make drivers become the best they can possibly be. Race engineers and technical leaders may not be seen on TV a lot of the time, and you probably haven't even heard of them, but they are crucial parts to making a Formula One team work. Luckily, the female influence over this area of the sport is increasing massively. Hannah Schmitz's strategy calls at Red Bull have turned Max Verstappen's good wins into dominant ones and have turned his career into a legacy. Yes, it can be argued that some of her strategy calls may be bold, but this really shows her excellence. She's unapologetically brilliant and calm under pressure. From Red Bull to Aston Martin, we have another strategist. Now, you may be seeing her more now because she's on Sky Sports, but Bernie Collins was once the face of the Aston Martin strategy. Bernie played a pivotal role in race decisions, tyre calls, as well as team planning. And finally, we have Laura Muller, who was appointed as Esteban Ocon's race engineer for the 2025 season with Haas. She joined the team in 2022, simply working in the simulator department, but has slowly worked her way up through the team. Ocon has praised Laura's determination and work ethic, saying that she's a great engineer as well as being awesome to work with. The media's influence on Formula One is pivotal, and having women in this area of the sport is crucial for the development of getting young girls into the sport itself. Two key female figures in this area of the sport are Natalie Pinkham and Rachel Brooks. They have both been staples of the Formula One paddock for years, running pit lane interviews, breaking news, and as well as giving the sport a new face. Over recent years, Sky Sports in the UK have been promoting women to get into these media roles. Bernie Collins was just one of them, but Naomi Schiff is another who has transitioned from being a driver to a presenter. Being a former racer, she has a sharp knowledge of what goes on in the sport. She's articulate as well and is widely respected by her peers. Amy Chadwick is another who is slowly transitioning from a racer into the world of media, while still continuing her professional career. Another driver who we don't really enjoy seeing on our screens is Danica Patrick. Having these women on our screens isn't just to tick a box, and I believe they're all excellent at all of their jobs, and their roles go extremely understated. Not only do they bring excitement and new faces to the sport, but they also influence young girls into watching it as well. Now let's look at the future, because yes, women have been in F1, women are working in F1, but how do we go about getting a woman back into a Formula 1 seat? This is where Formula 1 Academy comes in, a clear structured pathway to getting women into Formula 1. This gives them proper funding, coaching, seat time and visibility that they've historically lacked. Abby Pulling, Dorian Pan, Leah Block, Maya Verg and Marta Garcia aren't just feel-good names, they're serious and competitive drivers. A long way to go to get a female once again into Formula 1. But the Formula 1 Academy is a great way of nurturing young drivers to get to their very top. And with Susie Wolff at the helm, the future definitely looks promising. But when Catherine asked me to make the video about women in motorsport, she didn't just mean about Formula 1. So I feel like it's only right to do other names justice in showing how good females have been in other top levels of sport. And I feel like there is one name who stands out above the rest, that being Michèle Mouton. And Michèle didn't just compete in the world of rally, she won. She was honestly an incredible driver, and in the era of Group B rally cars, notoriously the most dangerous type of rallying the world has ever seen, she came second in the 1982 championship, just showing how skilled she was. She wasn't just good and didn't just turn up to compete, she was world class. That's the level we are talking about. I've already mentioned Danica Patrick a little bit and said how sometimes she can be a bit infuriating to watch when Sky Sports are showing her on their programme, but she is a talented driver. She's won an IndyCar race, she's also competed in NASCAR and has become one of the most complete and visible American female race car drivers. Another driver who we usually see on our Sky Sports programming is Jamie Chadwick, a multi-time W Series winner and now an IndyCar NXT driver. Another woman to speak about is Jutta Kleinschmidt. She won the Dakar Rally, not just the women's one, but the entire thing. So where does this leave us? Well, women have always been a part of Formula 1, even when they weren't wanted there. From the early trailblazers fighting stereotypes in the 50s and 60s, to now making team calls, being team principals, as well as creating narratives in the media. Their influence in modern day racing is undeniable. The next step, and the next big step, is getting a woman finally back on the Formula 1 grid. Not just as a bit of PR, not just as a token, but as someone who is competitive, funded correctly, and has the support behind them to compete at the very top level. And with F1 Academy, more visibility, and women joining multiple departments across the Formula 1 grid, we now feel closer than ever to finally seeing a female back in a Formula 1 seat. We're witnessing a shift, a slow one, but a real one. And the next trailblazer might be in karting, Formula 1 Academy, a different series, or even watching this video right now. The point is, women don't need to prove that they belong in Formula 1. They always have. The sport just needs to keep opening the door for them. If you have enjoyed this video today, please leave it a like, subscribe to the channel and leave any comments on who you think will be the next big female driver, and if you want to see any further videos in the future. But for now, that will be all.